Greetings, my dear viewers. It is I, Drayhon, and welcome back to another Dungeons & Dragons character conversion. We are diverting from what we did last month with character conversions from outside of the Dungeons & Dragons franchise, and are looking back into what I had promised last year when I was doing the League of Malevolence. And that was to have character conversions for the Valor's Call faction within the Wild Beyond the Witchlight book. Never got around to it, and, well, I should have done it sooner, because some of these builds are really good. I mean, they're more obvious in what they are as far as subclasses than the League of Malevolence was. It's like, oh, this person is this subclass and this class. It's like, wow, that's great. But my only problem with the Valor's Call was the fact that I had next to no information on them besides what was available in the Wild Beyond the Witchlight. Whereas the League of Malevolence was everywhere. I digress. Let's go ahead and jump right into things. We're using the point-buy system, and we are going with the first one in the book, Elkhorn, the dwarf. Now, like I said, his was actually pretty darn obvious on what he was, but I am tweaking a few things to make him a little bit better, because I feel that there are some things that he should have had inside his stat block. And we are going to cover a problem with Elkhorn's stat block and my solution for that problem. Starting things off is the point-buy system for our stats. Strength and Constitution will be our highest stats, each at 14. Dexterity and Charisma will be an 11. Wisdom is going to be our lowest stat at a 10, and Intelligence is going to be a modest 13. For race, we are going with Dwarf. That's obvious, but what wasn't obvious was his sub-race. And since he's not exactly a hippie, I went ahead and went with the Mountain Dwarf, which increases our Dexterity and Constitution each by 2. We have a speed of 25 feet, Dark Vision 60 feet, Dwarven Resilience. Tool proficiency will be Smith's Tools, Stone Cutting, and we get 2 languages, Common and Dwarvish. Now, if you know Elkhorn's stat block, or have the stat block right next to you as you watch this video, you are probably typing away in the comment section right now, saying, Drayhon, you absolute buffoon! His strength is way too high, and so is his intelligence. What on earth are you doing? And to that I say, yes. That is a very big problem with Elkhorn being converted into a playable character. But I do have a solution for that, like I said. Wait till the end of the video to see that very solution. Moving on to background, he is a part of Valor's Call, so we are going with Faction Agent. This will give us proficiencies in Insight and Intimidation, as well as 2 languages of our choice. We also get the feature Safe Haven. For class, we're starting things off as Barbarian, and I will explain exactly why we're doing Barbarian a little bit later. But first, we need to go with our stats. Our hit dice is a 1d12, and we get a decently good Constitution modifier to start things off with a... Is that right? That is right. A +3 to our Constitution modifier, making us a nice solid 15 hit points. For skills, grab Athletics and Intimidation. Wait a second. I already had Intimidation there. So, we need to change that real quick. Let's do Acrobatics. Why not? Boom. athletics and acrobatics. I think that's one of the skills we can get from Barbarian. I don't remember, but I'm putting it in there because I cannot remember. Moving on, Rage and Unarmored Defense are your Barbarian features. We're going to multi-class straight away into Fighter. We'll get a 1d10 hit die and some extra hit points based on our Constitution modifier once again. Fighting style, grab superior technique so you can grab the Fainting Attack maneuver. This is represented in Elkhorn's stats block for his reaction of faint. You also get the feature Second Wind. Now, I would have gone with the obvious route and gone with the martial archetype Battle Master for Elkhorn, but I thought that using the fighting style of superior technique would have been a better fit because I wanted to do something else for this build. So keep that in mind. The correct archetype for Elkhorn would have been Battle Master, but I am switching it up just to fit more into the character and make it a slightly better build. Level 2 fighters get Action Surge, and level 2 barbarians get Reckless Attack and Danger Sense. For level 3 barbarians, we are going with Path of the Battle Rager. According to the Sword Coast Adventures Guide, this subclass is a dwarf-only subclass because it was created by the dwarves. So you would understand that I wanted to make Elkhorn, a dwarf, have this particular subclass. And with good reason, too. The Battle Rager armor gives us proficiency with our spiked armor and allows us to have it and be able to create it. So, woohoo, that's great. And we also can use a bonus action to attack with the armor. And anybody we grapple with the armor, we can deal damage to using the spiked armor, which is crazy. I love it. Not as much as a double-bladed scimitar, but it's still pretty darn useful. Moving on to level 4 Barbarian, we're going with the Charger feat. This ties in real well with our spiked armor from Battle Rager. Level 3 fighters get a martial archetype. We're going with the Champion. This will improve our critical hit, making it a 19 or a 20. Instead of just a 20. Moving on to level 4 fighter, we'll grab Defensive Duelist. This gives us the ability to add more to our AC, which honestly I think is splendid. Level 5 fighters will get an extra attack. Level 6 fighters get an ability score improvement or a feat. I'm grabbing feat, I'm grabbing Shield Master. Just because I like the feat and how it works with Elkhorn. Now that we are done with that, let's go ahead and do the effects of aging. There are actually no rules for aging. So I wanted to do a little bit of homebrewing of my own for how aging would affect a character, since I've seen it plenty of times. But I wanted to take a swing at it myself. So, for the effects of aging, I thought we would... First off, we do know that we need strength and intelligence to go down, since they are the lowest stats Elkhorn has. And our hit point maximum is a little too high for Elkhorn. And I thought that, well, for dwarves, the age where they would be an elder would be 135. At least that was my estimate. So, for this little homebrew scenario, we need a saving throw of some sort or be affected by aging. So, for our save, it's going to be our con save. And we need to make a 15 plus 1 per 5 years after the elder age marker. So, as soon as we hit 135, it's just a solid 15. Once we hit 140, it'll be 15 plus 1, and so on, so forth. If this fails, if we fail this saving throw, we get the effects of aging, which I think should be similar to the shadow or other monsters that have this decreasing ability. So, first we'll need a d4 for our strength and our intelligence. This will be how much it is decreased. For our hit point maximum, we're going to say it is our highest hit dice minus our constitution modifier. This is where our constitution is going to come in handy. So, say we rolled a 5 like we have here on the die. It would be 5 minus 3. So we would subtract 2 from our hit point maximum. No modifiers on the dice for the stat block, for the stat modifiers, however. So those are going down for a solid. I just thought this would be useful. And that honestly is all I can think of for effects of aging. I'm sure we can tweak this a little bit because it's not just the strength and the intelligence that would go down. There would be some other factors to consider, like your wisdom, how your sight works. Perhaps even your ability to talk with people. Even how you can take a hit. I think this would be random. To be honest, I think it would be 2 random ability scores. One for your physical attributes, and another one for your mental attributes. Strength, dexterity, and con for physical, and intelligence, wisdom, and charisma for mental. That's my personal opinion. I think we might edit this a little bit and make it a video of its own in the future. If that's something you think you would be interested in, let me know down in the comments below. Until next time, I will be doing Mercion on Thursday. Next week will be Molliver, who has to be the funniest of the Valor's Call members. Just because not even wizards can remember her gender. It's hilarious. I'll see you then. This has been Drayhan, and I am offline.